Making money in Bitcoin is easy, right? Well, all the evidence actually suggests otherwise. So I'm going to put my real money to the test, and you're going to be in charge of it. Today, we're going to be looking at a new Bitcoin social investing experiment, which we're going to try here at Look Into Bitcoin using my actual real money. Like we said, all the evidence actually suggests that while many people believe making money in Bitcoin is really easy, a lot of people actually end up losing quite a lot of money, unfortunately. Just looking at something as simple as the Fear and Greed Index, we can actually see that acting as a contrarian for the vast majority of the time actually works out to be how you outperform a vast majority in the market. We can see most people tend to get very fearful at market bottoms, greedy at market tops, and doing the exact opposite of this 9 times out of 10 actually looks to be the better option. Especially if we look at something like the realized cap hodl waves, we can see when a vast majority of new capitals coming into the space and accumulating at higher prices, these also tend to be market tops, unfortunately. And once no one's interested in Bitcoin, once no one really believes in its long-term success, once it's died a new death once again, these are the most opportune moments to buy Bitcoin. So I was thinking recently, how could we try and incorporate something like this to maybe prove that Look Into Bitcoin investors maybe outperform a vast majority? So I've been doing little Twitter polls here and there to try and gauge social sentiment and try and understand maybe the mindset of a lot of Bitcoin investors. So this was the first one I did in December the 11th, looking at what the next 10% move in Bitcoin is going to be. And unfortunately, even though a vast majority actually voted that the next move would be to the upside, we actually moved 10% to the downside. So I thought this was maybe just a bad example, a one-off. So I did it again a week later, and everyone voted that the price would go down, and that, of course, ended up being the turning point before Bitcoin moved up 10%. So I thought we can do better than this. So what I'm going to do, put my own money at play here, and I'm going to use these Twitter polls. I'm going to use comment analysis on new Look Into Bitcoin YouTube videos to see if we can actually outperform a majority of people. I'm going to be comparing this against some baseline strategies, such as just dollar cost averaging. So I'm going to be putting in $100 every month into a dollar cost average strategy. I'm going to be splitting that out into a weekly purchase or sale based on these comments. And I'm also going to look at some other strategies, some strategies we've discussed on the channel before, looking the 2-year moving average multiplier and the active address sentiment indicator to see if we can potentially outperform this strategy. But maybe given where we are in a cycle, we may not get too many signals with this. So we'll also be comparing to the Crosby ratio strategy we released just a few months ago to see if we can outperform that strategy. Because ultimately, I think if we can prove that Bitcoin investing maybe isn't as easy as everyone thinks, obviously we can look at the Fear and Greed Index, we can look at something like the Bitcoin Index and see that majority are losing money. But I think if we can see it in real time, if we can see it happening with my money, that maybe a lot of people are making incorrect decisions, it can really solidify the fact that you need to have a strategy that isn't based on emotion, that has real rules and concrete settings that you need to abide by. And hopefully this will be a good experiment to maybe see if we can outperform a majority of the market. It'll be interesting to see if hopefully these videos and all the educational content we put onto the site are actually going in somewhere, maybe helping people to really time their investments a little better. So I'll post the exact rules of this and how you can follow along on Twitter and maybe in the description of this video as well, so we can actually see in real time the comparison of performance between buying and holding, dollar cost averaging, the two strategies we discussed, and the strategy that we'll be implementing, both using comment analysis and Twitter social media polls, to see if you, the Look Into Bitcoin watcher of this video, can actually help me to outperform the market. Also, if you haven't already, please don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications to ensure you're receiving all of our content as soon as it's released. And make sure to check out all the resources we've discussed today, as well as the many more that are all available on lookintobitcoin.com, your #1 source for Bitcoin information. So just to summarize, Bitcoin investing can be difficult, which is maybe different to what you've heard lots of people say on social media platforms and your friends talk about. Really, our emotions can get the better of any of us, and losing money is not something any of us like to do, but it is the unfortunate reality that a lot of people do unfortunately lose some money when it comes to their BTC investing. we're actually ending up buying at the tops and selling at the bottoms, when actually acting as a contrarian would have done a lot better than a vast majority. Like we can see looking at something like the Bitcoin Fear and Greed Index, as well as many other on-chain, market cycle, funding rate charts, pretty much every metric we can see, that acting as a contrarian to the majority of market participants historically has outperformed most of them. So to put this theory to the test, the sentiment of you, the viewer, will control a portion of my real money throughout 2024 to test this theory going forward. And along the way, we're going to test this alongside some other strategies, like we discussed, dollar cost averaging, flat out buying and holding, to see if we can actually outperform a majority of the market. If you like this video, then please visit lookintobitcoin.com, where you can also consider becoming a site subscriber to gain access to professional resolution charts, advanced macro and portfolio data tools, in-depth crypto industry reports, live and personalized indicator alerts, private trading view scripts, and more, all for a fraction of the standard industry price. And let me know what your thoughts are on this Bitcoin social investing experiment. Do you think with weekly buys or sells, we can actually outperform a majority of the market? Maybe we should have some kind of leaderboard based on whoever comments or replies with the most successful buying and selling signals, so we can really try and outperform the vast majority. Let me know what your thoughts are, like I said, both in the comments down below and on social media. They'll actually help to plan my first purchase or sale of BTC. Thank you all very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.